Today is a very special day in Magdala. We're celebrating the local feast of Mary Magdalene here at Magdala. This is just at Magdala. And the practical reasons that recommended this date are it's basically the summer temperatures in July 22nd, which is her date of the feast universally. Then it's just so hot here, it can be predictably very hot, and it's just not comfortable for people to come out of their homes, especially elderly and little children. So we have the local feast here on this day and the Saturday of the octave of Easter, which always has a Mary Magdalene Gospel. And so today we're expecting many visitors, including actually a group of pilgrims from Cyprus. Good morning. You're here in silhouette, so nobody can tell who you are. Maybe somebody can guess who is the fellow with the, not a surfboard, with the paddleboard, right? See, I sound very ignorant of these sports.
I'm Father Kelly. I had an inspiration this morning.
You had an inspiration? We're live, okay?
I had an inspiration this morning.
Okay, tell me.
I don't want to take away your audience, but I think I'm going to start the dawn stroll and paddle.
Oh yeah, the dawn is better than the sunrise.
Dawn is much better than the sunrise.
Well, it's different.
It's different.
The sunrise is a very powerful statement of love. You know, behind every gift is a giver. Right. And the dawn is very gentle.
Yes. These are two of my paddleboard students over here.
Ah, very good.
Surf students and paddleboard students.
Right.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
I just heard the readings today were at the Sea of Galilee when Jesus led the disciples. Is that right?
Yes, yes. Very good. Excellent. Yes.
So beautiful.
Yes. Well, I'm going to continue my little story here, and you continue to paddle.
I already went. I did the
Oh, you're on the way back?
I did the dawn.
Oh, I got you. Okay, now I know how you're saying this. I missed that. I should have been out here.
There's always tomorrow, Father.
There's always tomorrow. Imagine.
Yeah, just imagine.
There's always tomorrow. Imagine. Excellent. Well, enjoy the rest of the morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Brad brought friends of his. He invariably does in his trips, he and his wife. And when you have something good, you want to share it. But the very strong line in the Gospels, in all the readings today, the first reading and the Gospel reading, is that they don't believe. They don't believe. There is this. Mark's Gospel is very clear. It's very succinct. It's very, it's just hard facts kind of story. Simple. And then we get this here together for you, this little screen thing here. You see my little phone here that I read from. This phone doesn't have a chip in it. It's the old phone from 3 years ago. I can't believe it's almost 3 years since I'm using this phone here for the live streaming. Just thought about that this morning. When Jesus had risen early in the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had driven 7 demons. She went and told his companions, who were mourning and weeping. When they heard that he was alive and had been seen by her, they did not believe. So it's not just doubting Thomas, and it's not just the high priest. You know, it's all of us. We all go through our struggles of faith. We all go through our struggles of faith. Everybody has a challenge. After this, he appeared in another form to 2 of them, going along the way to the country, so that would be the Emmaus story that we see later more developed in Luke. This is just like a headline story. And they returned and told the others, but they did not believe either. So the faith starts off very small, with great resistance. I was talking with a very wise person, very experienced in coaching yesterday, and she was commenting just about normal social life. You know, when people change, other people are affected. And there will be reactions of other people, not necessarily positive, even to a positive change. People can be envious, they can be jealous, they can feel threatened, they can feel they're losing power. Dependencies can be changed. The balance of relationships can be altered. And there's a huge change going on here. And it's the fact that somebody can rise from the dead. This is the message. That death no longer is the final say. So that changes everything. That changes everything. It changes all the relationships for everybody. And how do I deal with it? It changes the status quo. And it changes responsibilities. Because now reality is very different. Death is no longer death. And that means that even though death exists and puts an end to life here, and our blossoming flower folds up and dies, and the dog dies, and the neighbor dies, and grandpa dies, and spouse dies, and even a child can die. But that's not the end. Now the problem for the high priest, this group that is responsible for the religious community, is they don't have that message yet. And they're hearing fishermen from the Sea of Galilee coming telling them. And in a chauvinistic world, the women come and tell the apostles that he is alive, and they don't want their boat rocked. It's very bad that he died. It's very bad that he was crucified. And they even were involved denying him in the process. And they're making adjustments to this new situation. But now that he's risen again, topples their boat again. How do we deal with changing situations? And how do we read life when we know that there's resurrection? In a certain sense, we want to hold on to stable material status quo our whole life long. No little 4-year-old wants anybody to put their hand on their teddy bear. They want control. And they didn't even make the teddy bear. And they didn't even buy it. It was given to them as a gift. But now it's theirs and they want control. And they don't want anything to change from that teddy bear situation. And there are lots of teddy bears that can even be major corporations, privately held companies, or just when people get married. I heard a couple of funny stories from my parents about where my dad used to hang up the towel after drying his hands And apparently my mom said, no, that's not the place to put it. And we were talking back in 1954. And so my dad had to adjust. He got married to this lady now, and she's in charge in the kitchen, you know. It's not just men exercise control, women can exercise control too, and how? And to let go of that control. One of our guests had a stroke yesterday morning very early and was taken to the hospital. And that changes a lot of things in the life of the people around that person. The material realm changes constantly, but most of the time imperceptibly, because we grow older day by day. But it's when the stroke comes that we wake up to the changed reality. And so we need a large heart and a free heart to accept the changed reality. A generous heart. These high priests would have to be very humble to really listen to fishermen coming in telling them that they made a huge mistake, that the person they killed was actually meant to be the Messiah, and is the Messiah, and is in charge. And they could have changed. But it would be very hard, especially if people are attached to power, attached to their own little realm, their own dominion. Oops. A little off balance here, people. Sorry about this. Now we're back again on track. We can't live without material things. We require so many things for our lives: to eat, to drink, a place to sleep, roof over our heads, clothes. And we're familiar with our surroundings. But that's not our final destiny. Sometimes then we indulge in these things in such a way, and such pleasures that are disordered, and we go beyond the normal healthy measure. We exercise control that's not ours. We even steal and take from others, abuse others, take them for granted, don't say thank you. These are normal human realities, you know. So to train ourselves for the value of material things, the real value. And it's a real dimension because our body will rise, so we have to have great love for our body, for our whole person. But there are much more values beyond the material. Much more values. Much more powerful values. And we become attached to the power we exercise. I was trying to show you the flowers up there, but it's easier to see them here with a different background. Or maybe it's not easier. That's the lighter background. You need a darker background to see them. Let me zoom in for you. See, these creepers are in full bloom all the way up the tree. A lot of creepers in our lives that have taken possession of our heart. choke us. And that's one of the reasons why Jesus said, leave everything, come follow me. Circumstances are changing all the time. Things get old, they get broken. That should teach us that material things don't have the support we need. There's wear and tear. There are new opportunities for new things. People in charge change. New people come in. The people who stay in power for a long time also change in themselves and their attitudes. There's really no stability in the material world that way, even though it looks many times very stable. The tree falls down. We need more shelves for our things, more clothes, another room, another garage, another basement, another attic. Put the stuff there. And real change is constantly happening. And there are other bigger changes because grace is knocking at my door, knocking at my heart. Relationships are developing, and especially the relationship with God, and realizing that material things don't cut it. My soul is growing much more and transcends material realms rapidly, material domains. I can't refuse to change. It's my life. My whole life I'm changing. Look at how fast a child grows. A child going into high school and then graduating. They graduate from high school going into college and then graduating. A few years later they're married and having babies and they're totally established adults in society. So much has changed and now you're a grandparent. To be able to accept this change, to let go, not like the high priest, to try to hold on to the status quo, prohibit them from speaking, punish them, threaten them. What insecurity. And they themselves are being called by these very facts. And there we see also the beauty of why Jesus didn't appear to everyone, because they weren't ready. And even the disciples weren't ready, but they were the least unready. And they did accept him because they had lost everything. They had left everything. They were free in their hearts. They didn't have anything else. Their only kingdom was Christ's kingdom. A kingdom where they'd be persecuted, rejected. Amazing. And they went out to the whole world and said, go out to the whole world and proclaim the gospel to every creature. So that's how we know the resurrection. Because Mary Magdalene left from the tomb and went back and told us the news. Because the disciples eventually let their heart change and accept it and followed and accepted the word of Mary Magdalene. And all that change takes time. We have to be patient with people. We're patient with the present-day atheist and agnostic and person who's turned away from the faith. To help them, to pray for them, it's a grace. May you have a very blessed day today. A blessed Saturday here. And the Easter octave tomorrow is the conclusion. We'll be praying for you all today at our festivity here in Magdala. Just a little practical thing for those of you who participate at the Mass live stream. It's going to be live streamed at 11 o'clock, which is a great advantage for all the people in Oceania and Eastern Asia and all the way across Europe. And then it's going to be difficult for people in America, especially on the West Coast, because we're so far ahead of you. God bless you people. See you later, alligators. Oh, I did that already. Goodbye.